Okay, I am going to check a trail camera today. And see if I can find a better spot for it. It recently snowed, so there's a fresh coat of snow on the ground. It makes it really easy to find tracks and figure out if I'm near a game trail. And those are really the best places to put a camera and catch some cool video. So I am in my PJ pants, but that's okay. I'll tell you the secret of this camera. It's in my backyard. That's my house. But everything in my backyard beyond my fence is all preserve space. So I get to see what walks in my backyard, and I get to monitor preserve. Pretty cool. Here, actually, this is really cool. This is squirrel prints. Squirrel came down off the tree and trying to find a nut that he likely put in the ground somewhere here. Hopefully he found it. And then he bounced back up to the tree. Okay, here's the camera. I have it attached to a tree right on my fence line. And it points out to the preserve behind us. So I'm gonna take it down now. Okay, so the camera was here, pointed out this way, and I know that there is a game trail here. And actually you can see some prints. We have these prints here. And there's my house. But look at this. Can you see in here? It's tall and narrow. It's got a foot pad in here, and then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. This is a coyote print. This is a solitary coyote that went that way. Some little squirrel prints here and there, hopping by. But we already know there's deer and coyote that walk here. So we're gonna see if we can find a better one. So what I'm looking for while I'm out here trying to find a good spot, I'm looking for prints. That would be a good giveaway that animals pass through here. But I'm also looking for cedar trees. In the eastern half of Banningwood, there aren't a lot of standalone cedar trees. The deer will use them to rub their antlers and shed their antlers. That usually happens in January-ish, but there could be some deer shed out there now, so I'd love to be able to find some if I can. That'd be neat. I don't know if you know that deer shed their antlers once a year, and then they grow back again. And so the size and the points on a buck don't really indicate age as much as they will indicate the health of the animal, which is interesting. And I'm also looking for beech trees. Beech trees will hang on to their leaves. You can see this beech tree behind me here. This isn't really a great example of where deer would sleep, but this is a beech tree here, and it hangs on to its leaves kind of through the winter and provides a little bit of cover. So if there's a beech tree stand with a few of those trees, it's nice cover for the deer at night. And over here I see 2 cedar trees. Let's go check them out. Okay, here's a nice cedar here, but I don't see any. I see a little bit of rubbings on the bark, but not a ton. Snow is pretty well melted here, but it is south facing on this side. But then this little guy, this little cedar tree here, the bark is much more scuffed up. Which is cool. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's almost completely shaved off. So somebody's working on it over here. I don't see any antlers poking through the snow. Sometimes they can just come loose also, and then the deer will walk away and shake their head, and the antlers will fall off somewhere else. So I'll keep my eyes peeled. Okay, so I'm still not finding any recent tracks, but I am at a trail of some sort that somebody took at one point. It's been covered over since the last snowfall, but that was 2 days ago, so maybe someone walked through here, someone like a wild animal walked through here maybe 4 or 5 days ago in between the last 2 snowstorms. So you can kind of see a line headed towards me of a depression in the snow where it looks like something walked. That's a game trail. And then a solitary animal seems to have crossed and gone that way. This looks like a main trail here, but I think it comes off of a old woods road that I'm headed towards. There's my trail. Obvious, right? Okay, so I'm at the old woods road. That was my goal, to get back to this woods road. From here you can see down a hillside to a water source behind me. That's part of the floodplain area for the Roaring Brook, which runs through Banningwood. And behind me in this other direction is back the neighborhood that I live in. It's like a quarter mile from me and back behind me. So this old woods road, you can kind of see that there's a bit of a clearing right here, and then over my shoulder this way you can see it almost looks like a 2-tire rutted depression that goes through the woods here. I'm not seeing any wildlife prints on the woods road. So the only wildlife prints I saw were the ones that were dusted over back that way, and then the ones that were more fresh right behind my house, which is interesting to me that the wildlife would walk closer to the neighborhood. But maybe they are more opportunistic in the wintertime and stay closer to houses to try and find stuff from humans to consume. So I'm going to walk around a little bit more back here and see if I can find any more evidence of game trail activity. And if not, then I'm going to probably bring the camera back closer to my house. Well, number one, it's convenient, obviously, but that seems to be where most of the activity is as well. So, and obviously I'm looking for wildlife activity. I don't think these trees are mature enough to be suitable protective covering for deer. Maybe in the spring it might be a good place for fawns. But they're kind of low to the ground and they're small. It might be appropriate for a small group. I'm not sure, but in the coming years this might be a great spot for deer cover. And as I look around, there's all the little leaves that you see on the ground are like all these little saplings behind me. So this is a up and coming beech forest back here. And beech tree, you can see the amazing bud on it is sharp like a spear. Not to be confused with the birch, which has also a pointy bud, but much different bark, and tastes like wintergreen. Fresh breath. So here is a cedar tree as well. I'll show it to you. So within this baby beech stand that we found is another nice, looks like piece of red cedar. A little bit scraped up here, but nothing crazy. I don't think the deer use this area right now anyways. They will in the future. I just found another game trail. doesn't look any more or less used than the game trail we found back that way that I decided not to follow up on. However, it's in a really interesting spot to me. Kind of goes up a hillside in front of me, and I know in the other direction are two different water sources. There's like a freshwater pond created by beavers, and there's also the Roaring Brook floodplain and brook. So this spot is more interesting to me. I think I might set up my camera. There's a little protected spot under this log here. I might use this smaller tree here to put my camera on and kind of look up that way. I don't know if you can see the trail. I'll try and turn my camera. Okay, so this is the trail I'm talking about. You can kind of see the depressions in the snow right here. And to me it looks fairly open for a while. Okay, so I changed my mind. I'm going to use this big oak tree instead of the smaller tree. When it's windy, the little tree will have some movement that will move the camera, and my camera, it turns on when it detects motion. So if the camera's moving, then motion is happening and starts recording video, and I can fill up a whole disc of the tree just swaying in the breeze. So I'm going to use this big oak tree instead. There's a better chance of it not blowing in the breeze. There's no disc. I gotta put a disc in there. Card in, it's on, so I'm going to close this. And it's all set, ready to rock. Okay, there's a couple things that I'm noticing while I'm out here that I think are really cool. Trees are so cool, and this is just such a fine example. So if you live in New England or Connecticut, I'm sure you're probably aware of the gypsy moth infestation that came through and killed lots of white oaks. This oak here next to me is totally dead. And just everything that you can see around me, all these oaks, dead, lots of dead oaks up here, and it looks pretty devastating and kind of shocking to some people, and kind of sad, especially in the summertime when trees are in their full glory. And you look around and see all these tall, massive, dead trees, and you go, "Oh no, the forest is dying." Trees are smart, and they don't just die overnight, so they're able to react a little bit. And the gypsy moth infestation, I think, lasted sometime over 3 to 5 years. And in that time, the white oaks, a lot of the white oaks had a chance to react. Not all of them. In some places there was great devastation. But in other places, trees were able to react. So the white oaks here in the eastern half of Banningwood, at least in the area where I'm standing, everything above me is dead. But that brings new opportunity for birds of prey, owls, bats, in the summertime, bees, birds, squirrels, pollinators. They're all going to take advantage of this tree. Funguses and everything. A tree serves this purpose throughout its entire existence, right down until it becomes dirt again. But what's really cool is the entire forest floor underneath me, it's all baby white oak trees. Well, there's a white pine. So all baby white oak trees. Look at this. All these, they're all baby white oaks. White oaks. Everywhere. There's going to be a whole new oak forest here. And there's another tree that died over here I want to show you also. Okay, so within this forest, at least near my house, and when I look on satellite images, there's one giant white pine. Right here. It's over 100 feet tall, and it had two major branching trunks that came out. And in a windstorm about 4 or 5 years ago when we moved into our house, this one fell. It split. I heard it crack, and I looked out my window and there was a big boom, and now it's hung up over here. The cool thing is that I see barred owls sitting on this tree all the time, and I would not be surprised if they figured out how to make little home spaces out of the tree. There's a lot of little nooks and crannies that have been created. But remember how I told you it was the only pine tree here? I did an assessment when I first moved in to see what the woods behind my house looked like. It was the only pine tree. But since this tree lost half of itself, I don't know if you can see behind me all these baby pines that have come out. And this one is 4 years old, maybe. And there's just a splattering of little green baby pines everywhere. This one is older, so it probably knew that the tree was struggling. But I'm telling you, man, trees are smart. They know. They know once they're reaching their ultimate life expectancy that they should start procreating if they want their species to continue. So now the floor of the forest in this section is all white pine, eastern white pine. And then back that way we have all of the white oak. And then back further we have all of the baby beeches. So the woods may look like they don't change, but they most certainly are. Nature's cool.